Hey guys, well, good morning. Welcome back. Good to see you. So, here I am, just watching the sunrise. Nice sunrise. You can maybe have it in the back there as it rises. Beautiful pink glowing clouds. Looks good. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. But I seem to have just got lucky this time. Well, not lucky. I got up in the morning, set up camera, and doing a time lapse. It's Easter, and I have definitely gorged myself on sweets and lots of stuff that I'd not had for 4 months. So basically, I'd as of January stopped eating any kind of carb-rich food, processed carb-rich food. So no Wheat Bix, no bread, no sugar at all in anything except for a piece of fruit during the day, and some, I guess, what are they called? Berries. What are they called? Berries. Berries in the morning and a piece of fruit. I guess you could call berries fruit. But basically the idea was just to really just cut out all of this stuff. I'd put on about 10 kilograms over 2 months when I was in Russia. And so I'd had enough when I got back, and I'm like, that's enough. I mean, I was just like, let's get back to a real healthy weight. And I worked out that my healthy weight was about 15 kilograms 15 kilograms less than what I was. So over the 3 months between January, February, March, I did that. And I went to the gym 3 days a week. I hurt my tendon, my Achilles tendon a bit. I was kind of burning when I was running because I was running in the cold and I was getting heavier, so I would run more. I had stopped running altogether, stopped doing exercise while I was in Russia because it was too cold, and I did not really have the ability to go to the gym and work and do all this stuff at the same time. So now, within those 3 months, I lost 17 kilograms, dropped 17 kilograms, and I feel like I'm actually back to a normal weight, like normal, like not underweight. And I feel underweight, but all the things that I calculated was like, no, I'm actually healthy, and I'm probably about 4 kilograms above being 4 or 5 kilograms being above underweight. And I'm, built up a lot of muscle, obviously, because I was going to the gym a lot again. But it just kills me. I'm just walking around everywhere and doing the reading about diabetes and obesity and overweight, people being overweight just kills me. Like the percentage of the Australian population that is overweight is just phenomenal. In the US, I think it's like obesity's also like, I don't know the exact stats. I'll check them out and I'll talk more about them later. But that's that. So, you go to the shops, right? You go to a shop, you go to your supermarket, and you look at what's there on the shelves, and it really truly blows the mind to see the extent of the stuff that is just not, it's almost not even food. It's like kids' cereals. Come on, what are we doing? Maybe I'm just cynical, but I was sick and tired of us just as humans just almost, we're like almost poisoning ourselves for the sake of having to function. We have this system where in order to develop, to get new stuff and to do new things, to make money, we need to work. So, for businesses that sell things that make money, and we use that money to exchange. It's the economic system that we live in at the moment. Pretty much every single country in the world works like that. Some to some extent more tax rich. Some of them tax poor. Different medical systems. So some have a paid private insurance system. Some have a more public tax paid system. but essentially the same thing. You go to any country in the world, you have a very similar economic system. The issue is this economic system, in a certain way, takes profit as a priority over a lot of things. It's a lot worse, I think, in the US, where the medical industry is like essentially a for-profit enterprise, and so in order for it's hard to say, but in order for these companies to function and to be profitable and to make a return for their shareholders, which is kind of like essentially what some of these constructs do, right? They make money for the people that work there, they create products for the consumers, and they make money for the shareholders who essentially own the company. Now, that in the US for the medical system is a completely flawed system in my opinion, but that's not the topic of this conversation. I wanted to talk about the food industry and how it's essentially poisoning us. And the reason I say that, and I don't say it lightly, because the food industry employs a lot of people in the world, a lot. And the products that they produce, to an extent, in many cases, are no good for us. They're like, how did we get here, right? So it's because in order for food companies in the competing market to sell something, they need to create food or a product that is more competitive and people will buy more than their competitors. And that is done through the use of special chemicals that they add in order to create a spicy flavor or a flavor that will keep you coming back for more. And sugar and salt-rich foods are what people come back for more. So they're the two things that I guess in a certain way are problematic with the food industry. I mean, I consciously make a decision when I go to the market, to any store, and to just get fruit, to get veggies. So for dinner I have like just veggies and some salad, like with lettuce, cucumber, bit of tomato, and have steamed veggies. So I have cauliflower, broccoli, sweet potato, and carrot. Like mix and match. Sometimes this, sometimes that. But really, that's it. That is the extent of the food that I really eat every single day, and there's not much variety. And sometimes on the weekends I might go and grab something. When losing weight, the best thing to do is you kind of go, like, you either alternate every day like that, or you kind of have like a low calorie, really low calorie amount, and then on the weekends you jump it up, so your body doesn't think that it's starving, right? So for losing weight, for maintaining weight, I guess it's a little bit different. So your body doesn't think it's starving, and so therefore you can, I can go on the weekends and eat a bit more than usual. So okay, I guess let's go back to the idea of the food industry, right? So what can we do? What's the solution here? What can we do to fix this problem? I mean, if you had a state-owned food system, you could possibly, the state would employ people would pay taxes to fund that. It's a lot different to the existing system, and the diversity would definitely be reduced. But I wonder if that system would be better for the overall health of the community. Another thing is to put certain controls and limits on the number of types of ingredients these companies put in their food. So I know in certain countries they have controls and limits on the amount of sugar that certain foods can have. I would look, in my opinion, there's so much unknowns. I mean, if there's so many ingredients in our food now, and let's not talk about the artificial sweeteners, because I am I'm also no good for artificial sweeteners, because probably of the amount that I've tried to lose weight. I need some artificial sweeteners, probably too much. And that usually comes in the form of chewing gum. But anyway, going back to how we would fix this issue with being overweight, obesity, like, not moving is a big thing. So the when it comes to losing weight or being fit, it kind of works like this. It's sleep is about 80 to 90% of, if you don't sleep, it really has a really bad effect. Of the remaining, say if we say remaining 11%, of that remaining percent, about most of it is your diet, like what you eat. A lot of it impacts your metabolism. The reason I decided to eat what I eat is because I kind of looked at what would, over the last kind of 100,000 years, our bodies have adapted to in order to survive. What would, calorie deficit is definitely a better state to be in than a calorie excess. In no time in history that I'm aware of, and maybe in the start of the agricultural revolution, was there excess food that resulted in us getting, a much higher calorie dense, calorie rich diet. But before that, it was pretty much hunter gatherer. And that would mean that we'd have to go from place to place, and our bodies would learn to survive on less. And so essentially, my thinking was that over a longer period of time, our bodies are used to calorie deficits and hunger than they are to excess. And so our bodies have adapted better to calorie, or just less food, so we can survive. So basically, at that point, I kind of thought, well, what, berries, nuts, meat, some meat, and veggies, I guess greens. I don't think there has been any much cultivated green food in our history. So I kind of thought, well, that they're very low calorie foods. And so that's how I came to my diet, to what I think I should eat every day. And then every so often, like for Easter and Christmas and my birthday, I kind of like gorge on sweets. And I want to go back to that. When I gorged this weekend, and this is where I wanted to start, is like, I actually felt sick. I felt really bad and I felt really achy. And I thought, what the hell? Is this psychosomatic? Is it like because I'm just thinking about the fact that I'm eating all this bad food, that's what's happening? Or is it really having a bad effect on my body? Like, is it really, like, is it really inflammation that I'm feeling, right? Is it that bad? And I felt achy and kind of sore and kind of like a burning, like slight feeling in my body. I feel better now after some sleep, and I'm going to not eat any sweets today, and I'm going to compare that with how I felt yesterday over the last 2 days. And my joints were sore too, which is really weird. So yeah, I don't know. Like, it's really sad the state of affairs how we have got here. Call me cynical, but it's, I don't know. I'm just one person doing a YouTube vlog. I'm like, I can't fix this problem. I can suggest what I did suggest, and there's a lot of people that could work on this problem. Australia is in deep. They don't even have regulations around the amount of sugar that you have in your soda cans like Coca-Cola. So you could start with that. You could reduce the number of artificial chemicals you have in food. Create regulations that you need really stringent tests and verification that these things aren't causing metabolic problems. And they can, you got all these ingredients that you look at a packet, and you got all these oils or even synthetics that we're putting in our bodies, and who knows over time what they're doing to our metabolism, to our body, because a lot of the tests that are done on artificial chemicals and foods, they're not done over long terms of months. They are done maybe, over a period of 6 months. There are long-term studies on some chemicals. A lot of chemicals, especially in, say, the beauty industry, have got problems if you use them often, and so you're generally better off not using them at all on your skin. I don't use any, other than, I think, once in a while use a moisturizer because I've got dry skin. But yeah, guys, look, thanks for listening. That's my spiel about food. And my experience over 30-40 years of getting to a place after all this time where I'm happy with what I eat and I'm happy with my weight. It took me a long time. I think that there's been 3 points in my life where I've gotten this healthy and fit. When I was 29, when I was, yeah, 29, and then again when I was 33, 34, 33, it's 33, 33. Yeah, that was 33, and now 40, 44 years old, 10 years since. Actually, no, when I was 37, I also kind of like, I got fit again. And I guess in the pandemic, not so much. Couldn't have done better. But like, guys, thanks for listening. I hope you got something out of it. I hope, you makes you think about what you buy when you go to the store, especially food-wise. So have a good day. I will see you at the next video.